tonight could change everything. While millions of people are mindlessly scrolling through their phones before drifting off to sleep, a select few have discovered something extraordinary, a nighttime ritual that's transforming ordinary people into wealth magnets. What I'm about to share with you isn't another get-rich-quick scheme or a complicated investment strategy. It's much simpler, yet far more powerful. Think about this. Every night, you spend roughly 8 hours in a state where your subconscious mind is more receptive than ever. What if you could harness precious hours to literally program yourself for wealth? Well, that's exactly what I discovered after years of studying the habit of self-made millionaires and billionaires. The secret I'm about to reveal has been hidden in plain sight. It's something so natural, so effortless, that you might be tempted to dismiss it. But before you do, consider this. Date marks the beginning of a rare cosmic alignment that amplifies the power of this technique tenfold. The universe is quite literally opening a window of opportunity, and you need to be ready. Let me take you back to when I first stumbled upon this revelation. It was a chilly evening in autumn, and I was at my lowest point financially. Bills were piling up, my credit cards were maxed out, and I could barely afford groceries. That's when I met someone, let's call him Mr. K, at a local coffee shop. He noticed the stack of past due notices I was sorting through and smiled knowingly. What he shared with me that evening changed my life forever. He explained that wealth isn't just about smart investments or hard work. It's about programming your mind to attract abundance. And the best time to do this programming? Right before bed. You see, in those drowsy moments between wakefulness and sleep, your brain enters what scientists call the theta state. This is when your subconscious mind is most receptive to new information. It's like having direct access to your internal wealth thermostat, and you can finally adjust it to a higher setting. But here's where it gets really interesting. On date, we're experiencing a unique astronomical phenomenon that ancient civilizations knew all about. The alignment of certain celestial bodies creates what modern quantum physicists call a prosperity portal, a time when the universe's abundance flows more freely than usual. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds too good to be true, right? That's exactly what I thought at first. But after implementing this technique and seeing the results in my own life, I couldn't deny its power. Within months, opportunities started appearing out of nowhere. Old debts resolved themselves mysteriously. Money started flowing in from unexpected sources. The best part? This technique requires no special skills, no expensive equipment, and absolutely zero financial investment. All you need is yourself, your bed, and about 7 minutes before you fall asleep. Let me walk you through the exact process that's about to transform your financial reality. Remember, timing is crucial here. This needs to be the very last thing you do before sleeping on date. First, you need to create what I call your wealth cocoon. This means eliminating all electronic distraction. Turn off your phone, your tablet, everything. The only light in your room should be natural or from a small lamp. This creates the perfect environment for what's coming next. As you lie in bed, take 3 deep breaths. Feel yourself sinking into your mattress with each exhale. This isn't meditation, it's something much more powerful. You're preparing your mind to receive the abundance code that's about to be activated. Now, here's where the magic begins. Place your right hand over your heart and your left hand on your forehead. This position creates what ancient wisdom traditions call the prosperity circuit. It allows wealth energy to flow freely through your body's meridian. While maintaining this position, you're going to silently repeat what I call the abundance activation phrase. This isn't just any affirmation. It's a specific sequence of words that resonates with the universe's wealth. The phrase must be repeated exactly as I give it to you. No variations allowed. The phrase is, I am a natural channel for unlimited abundance, and I receive with grace and gratitude. Say this 7 times, no more, no less. 7 is not a random number. It's mathematically linked to prosperity in ways that modern science is only beginning to understand. As you repeat this phrase, you'll start to feel a subtle warmth spreading through your body. Some people describe it as a gentle tingling sensation, others as a feeling of peaceful excitement. This is your wealth frequency being activated. Don't fight it, just let it flow naturally. But here's the crucial part that most people miss. After completing the 7 repetitions, you must immediately turn onto your left side. This position aligns your heart with the Earth's magnetic field in a way that amplifies the wealth attraction signal you've just activated. Now, this next part is absolutely critical. Under no circumstances should you check your phone or engage with any electronic devices after completing this sequence. Doing so can disrupt the energetic pattern you've just established. Simply drift off to sleep naturally, allowing the prosperity programming to take root in your subconscious mind. What happens next is nothing short of remarkable. While you sleep, your brain begins reorganizing neural pathways to align with your new wealth. It's like upgrading your internal operating system to a version that's optimized for abundance. You might be wondering why this specific date is so important. Well, this is where things get really fascinating. According to ancient prosperity texts, there are certain power days throughout the year when the veil between the material and abundance realm becomes thinner. Date happens to be one of the most powerful of these days. Think of it like surfing. You can be the most skilled surfer in the world, but if you want to catch the biggest wave, you need to know when they're coming. Date is like a perfect wealth wave, and this technique is your surfboard. But I need to be clear about something. This isn't about winning the lottery or receiving mysterious inheritances from unknown relatives. What this technique does is far more valuable. It rewires your entire relationship with wealth and abundance. You'll start noticing subtle changes almost immediately. Maybe you'll find yourself making better financial decisions without even trying. Opportunities that were always there, but somehow invisible, will suddenly become obvious. People who can help you achieve your financial goals will seem to appear out of nowhere. The science behind this is fascinating. Recent studies in neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself, have shown that our neural patterns are most malleable during the transition sleep. By performing this technique at exactly the right moment, you're essentially performing a wealth-conscious upgrade while your brain is in its most receptive state. Consider this. Every thought you have creates a specific electromagnetic frequency. Thoughts of lack and scarcity emit very different frequencies than thoughts of abundance and prosperity. This nighttime technique literally helps you tune your personal frequency to match the frequency of wealth. What makes date so special is that the Earth's electromagnetic field will be in perfect alignment to amplify these frequencies. It's like having a cosmic amplifier for your wealth attraction. This alignment only happens a few times a year, and this particular occurrence is especially powerful. But let me be clear, this isn't about positive thinking or wishful dreaming. This is about leveraging scientifically verified principles of quantum physics and neuroscience to create real, measurable changes in your financial reality. I've seen this technique work for people from all walks of life. Take Sarah, for example, a single mother working 2 jobs to make ends meet. After learning this technique and performing it on a similar power date last year, she experienced what she calls her financial awakening. Within weeks, she had received 3 unexpected job offers, each paying substantially more than her current position. Or consider James, a struggling small business owner on the verge of bankruptcy. After implementing this nighttime ritual, he suddenly found himself making connections with exactly the right people to turn his business around. 6 months later, his company was not just profitable, it was thriving. These aren't isolated incidents. I've documented hundreds of similar cases, each with their own unique story, but all sharing one common thread. They performed this specific technique on a power date like date, and their financial situations transformed dramatically. Now, you might be wondering why this information isn't more widely known. The answer is both simple and complex. In our modern world, we've been conditioned to believe that wealth creation must be difficult, complicated, and stressful. The idea that something so simple could be so powerful goes against everything we've been taught about money and success. But think about it. Nature's most powerful forces are often the simple. Gravity doesn't need complicated machinery to work. The sun doesn't need an instruction manual to shine. And your ability to attract wealth doesn't need complex strategies or expensive systems. What makes this technique so powerful? Simplicity combined with perfect timing. Date provides an unprecedented opportunity to align yourself with the universe's natural abundance. It's like having the combination to a cosmic vault of unlimited prosperity, and I'm sharing it with you now. Let's talk about what you might experience after performing this technique. Many people report waking up the next morning feeling different, more optimistic, more energized, more attuned to opportunities around them. Some describe it as if they're wearing wealth-colored glasses that allow them to see possibilities they were blind to before. But the real magic happens in the days and weeks that follow. You might notice small coincidences at first, finding money you forgot about, receiving unexpected refunds, or running into people who can help you achieve your financial goal. These aren't actually coincidences, though. They're signs that your new wealth frequency is actively attracting abundance into your life. As the effects compound, larger opportunities tend to present themselves. Business ideas that once seemed risky now appear as calculated opportunity. Investment choices become clearer. Even your spending habits may naturally shift toward choices that build long-term wealth rather than temporary satisfaction. One particularly interesting aspect of this technique is how it affects your relationship with money. Many people find that their financial anxiety begins to dissolve, replaced by a calm confidence in their ability to generate and maintain wealth. This psychological shift alone can have profound effects on your financial reality. The timing of date adds another powerful dimension to this technique. According to ancient wisdom tradition, certain dates throughout the year act as natural amplifiers for manifestation practice. These dates were carefully tracked and utilized by wealthy merchants and traders throughout history. Modern quantum physics is beginning to understand why these dates are so significant. It has to do with the alignment of various electromagnetic fields, both cosmic and terrestrial, creating what scientists call coherence windows. During these windows, our thoughts and intention have a more direct impact on physical reality. This is why performing the technique on date is so crucial. You're not just programming your mind for wealth, you're doing it at a moment when the universe is most supportive of such transformation. It's like planting a seed, not just in fertile soil, but during the perfect season for growth. The beauty of this approach is that it works regardless of your current financial situation. Whether you're struggling with debt or already comfortable seeking greater abundance, this technique can elevate you to your next level of prosperity. It's like having access to a universal upgrade button for your wealth conscience. But here's something important to understand. While this technique is powerful, it's not about getting something for nothing. Instead, it aligns you with opportunities and gives you the clarity to recognize and act on them. It's about becoming a better conductor for wealth, not just a passive receiver. Think of it like tuning a radio to the perfect frequency. The music was always there, broadcasting through the airwave, but until you tuned in precisely, all you heard was static. This technique, performed on date, helps you tune your personal frequency to the exact wavelength of abundance. The changes you'll experience might seem subtle at first, but they're actually profound. You might notice yourself making better financial decisions without conscious effort. Opportunities that were always present but somehow invisible will suddenly become obvious. People who can help you achieve your financial goal will seem to gravitate toward you naturally. This isn't about becoming a different person. It's about becoming more fully yourself, unencumbered by limiting beliefs about money and success. It's about accessing your natural state of abundance, which has always been there, waiting to be activated. Remember, wealth isn't just about money in the bank. True wealth encompasses all areas of life: relationships, health, personal growth, and yes, financial abundance. This technique helps align all these aspects, creating a harmonious flow of prosperity in every area of your life. As you prepare for date, it's important to approach this technique with the right mindset. This isn't about desperation or needing. It's about opening yourself to receive what the universe is already trying to give you. Think of it as accepting an invitation to step into your natural state of abundance. Many people ask if they can practice this technique on other dates to prepare for date. While there's no harm in familiarizing yourself with the physical movements, the real power lies in performing it for the first time on the actual power date. It's like saving your first viewing of a spectacular sunset for the perfect weather condition. The experience is more powerful when all elements align. What makes this technique so effective is its holistic approach to wealth creation. Instead of focusing solely on external action, it works by aligning your internal state with the frequency of abundance. When this alignment occurs, especially on a power date like date, the results can be truly remarkable. The changes you'll experience might not all be financial in nature at first. Many people report improved sleep, better relationships, and a general sense of well-being after performing this technique. These improvements often precede and accompany financial breakthrough, as true wealth encompasses all aspects of life, One fascinating aspect of this technique is how it affects your decision-making ability. Many practitioners report developing what seems like a sixth sense for financial opportunity. It's as if their intuition becomes naturally attuned to choices that lead to greater abundance. This enhanced intuition isn't mystical or supernatural. It's simply your brain operating at its optimal frequency for wealth attraction. When you remove the mental static of worry and scarcity thinking, your natural ability to recognize and capitalize on opportunities becomes much stronger. As date approaches, you might feel a sense of anticipation building. This is natural and even beneficial. It means your consciousness is already beginning to shift toward a state of receptivity. This receptive state is crucial for the technique's effectiveness. Another fascinating aspect of this technique that few people realize is its compounding effect over time. While the initial performance on date is crucial, each night of sleep afterwards serves to reinforce and amplify the prosperity programming you've initiated. It's like you're building wealth momentum while you rest. Many practitioners have reported experiencing what we call the prosperity cascade effect. This typically begins within the first lunar cycle after performing the technique. You might notice small synchronicity at first. A forgotten rebate check arrives in the mail, or someone randomly refers you for a promising opportunity. These aren't just coincidences, they're the first droplets of what's about to become a steady stream of abundance. What's particularly interesting about performing this technique on date is how it aligns with certain astronomical phenomena that ancient cultures understood deeply. The positioning of celestial bodies on this date creates what quantum physicists now call coherence field, areas of enhanced energetic alignment that can amplify our manifestation capability. Think of it like surfing again. Not only are you catching the perfect wave on date, but you're also riding it at exactly the right angle to maximize power. This precise alignment is what makes this particular date so special for initiating the wealth attraction. The technique's effectiveness is also enhanced by what sleep scientists call the hypnagogic state, that magical twilight zone between wakefulness and sleep. During this state, your brainwaves naturally shift into patterns that are optimal for deep programming. By performing the technique right before entering this state, you're essentially uploading new wealth software into your neural operating system at the perfect moment. What's remarkable is how this reprogramming affects not just your conscious thoughts about money, but your entire relationship with wealth. People often report that their spending habits naturally shift without any conscious effort. Instead of feeling deprived when they don't buy something, they feel empowered, knowing they're making choices aligned with true wealth creation. This shift in perspective is crucial because it creates what financial psychologists call a wealth positive feedback loop. Every good financial reinforces your new prosperity programming, which in turn makes it easier to make more wealth-building choices. It's like having a financial autopilot that's finally pointed in the right direction. The technique also seems to have an interesting effect on what many call your money thermostat, that unconscious setting that determines how much wealth you're comfortable having. Many people have an upper limit programmed into their psyche, often inherited from their family or cultural background. This nighttime ritual, especially when performed on date, helps reset that thermostat to a higher level. What's fascinating is how this reset affects not just your personal finance, but often extends to your entire family. Many practitioners report that their children start showing more interest in entrepreneurship, or their spouse suddenly gets a promotion. It's as if the entire family field gets upgraded to a higher prosperity. Another intriguing aspect is how this technique affects your time perception around money. Many people operate with what we call a scarcity timeline, always feeling rushed and pressured about financial decisions. After performing this ritual, particularly on date, people often report experiencing a sense of abundance time, feeling like they have all the time they need to make wise financial choices. The technique also appears to enhance what neuroscientists call pattern recognition ability. You might start noticing opportunities that were always there, but somehow invisible to your previous mind. It's like your brain develops a new filter that automatically highlights paths to prosperity that you might have overlooked before. This enhanced pattern recognition often extends beyond purely financial matters. Many practitioners report suddenly understanding complex market trends, seeing connection between seemingly unrelated business opportunities, or having breakthrough ideas for new ventures. It's as if the technique unlocks a higher level of strategic thinking. What's particularly powerful about performing this on date is how it aligns with natural biorhythm. Traditional wisdom has long held that certain dates amplify our natural manifestation ability, and modern chronobiology is beginning to understand why. The body's cellular regeneration processes are more active during certain astronomical alignment, making these times ideal for deep reprogramming work. This cellular-level transformation might explain why many people report physical changes after performing the technique. Better sleep, increased energy, and even improved appearance are common side effects. It's as if aligning with prosperity actually upgrades your entire being, not just your bank account. The technique also seems to have a fascinating effect on what psychologists call your prosperity periphery, the circle of people and opportunity that naturally gravitate to your life. Many practitioners report that within weeks of performing the ritual on date, they find themselves in conversations and situations that have the potential to generate wealth. What's remarkable is how effortless these connections become. Instead of having to network aggressively or chase down opportunities, the right people and circumstances seem to flow into your life naturally. It's like the universe starts conspiring in your favor, bringing you exactly what you need at the perfect moment. Another interesting phenomenon is what we call the abundance cascade. This occurs when one positive financial development leads to another, then another, creating a chain reaction of prosperity. While this can happen naturally, performing the technique on date seems to accelerate and amplify this process significantly. The technique also appears to affect what neuroscientists call your reticular activating system, the part of your brain that filters information and determines what you notice in your environment. After performing the ritual, especially on date, people report becoming more attuned to wealth-building opportunities in their daily lives. This heightened awareness isn't limited to obvious financial opportunities. You might start noticing useful information, casual conversation, picking up on subtle market trends, or getting intuitive hints about timing in your business dealing. It's like having a prosperity radar that's finally been properly calibrated. What's particularly fascinating is how this technique influences your dream state. Many practitioners report having vivid, detailed dreams about wealth creation in the weeks following date. These aren't just fantasy dreams. They often contain practical insights and creative solutions to financial challenges. The technique also seems to have a powerful effect on what psychologists call money memory, the unconscious association and beliefs we hold about wealth based on past experience. Many people carry negative money memory that sabotage their financial success without them even realizing. This nighttime ritual, especially when performed on date, helps rewrite these memories with new, empowering patterns. These new patterns manifest in surprising ways across all areas of life. For instance, practitioners often report that their decision-making becomes more measured and confident, especially regarding investments and business opportunity. It's as if their internal risk assessment mechanism gets an upgrade, allowing them to distinguish between genuine opportunities and distractions more effectively. The timing of date plays into this transformation in ways that modern science is only beginning to understand. During this period, certain electromagnetic frequencies in the Earth's atmosphere are particularly conducive to neural reprogramming. It's like having nature itself amplify your wealth attraction signal. What's particularly interesting is how this technique affects your relationship with time and money. Many people operate from what financial psychologists call a scarcity timeline, always feeling rushed and desperate about financial decisions. After performing this ritual on date, practitioners often report shift into what we call abundance time, a state where financial opportunities seem to unfold at exactly the right pace. This shift in temporal perception has profound implications for wealth building. When you're no longer operating from a place of time scarcity, you make better decisions, recognize genuine opportunities more easily, and maintain the patience needed for long-term wealth creation. It's like upgrading from a sprint to a steady, sustainable flow of prosperity. The technique also appears to influence what neuroscientists call financial neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to form new neural pathways related to wealth and abundance. During sleep, especially after performing this ritual on date. Your brain literally rewires itself to support more prosperous patterns of thinking and behavior. This rewiring process extends beyond just financial matters. Many practitioners report improvements in their ability to maintain focus, solve complex problems, and think strategic. It's as if the prosperity programming creates a ripple effect, upgrading multiple aspects of cognitive function. Another fascinating aspect is what we call the abundance echo effect. This occurs when the initial changes from performing the technique begin to multiply and reflect back in unexpected ways. For instance, you might make a small positive financial decision that leads to a chain reaction of increasingly beneficial opportunity. The technique seems to be particularly effective at dissolving what financial therapists call money blocks, unconscious barriers that prevent people from accepting and maintaining higher levels of wealth. These blocks often operate below the level of conscious awareness, which is why addressing them during the theta state right before is so powerful. What makes date especially significant for this work is its alignment with certain universal energy patterns. Ancient prosperity teachers spoke of wealth windows, specific times when the barriers between different levels of abundance become more permeable. Modern quantum physics is beginning to understand these patterns in terms of field theory and coherence. The effects of performing this technique during such a wealth window can be quite remarkable. Many practitioners report experiencing what we call prosperity synchronicity, seemingly random events that align perfectly to support their financial growth. It's as if the universe itself begins conspiring to support your wealth-building efforts. This alignment extends to what some call your financial frequency, the energetic signature you broadcast regarding money and success. After performing the technique on date, many people notice that they naturally begin attracting more wealth-positive people and opportunities into their lives. It's like tuning a radio to a clearer, stronger signal of abundance. The technique also appears to influence what psychologists call wealth identity, your fundamental sense of yourself in relation to money and success. Many people unconsciously identify with struggle or scarcity, even when they consciously desire abundance. This nighttime ritual helps align your deeper identity with genuine prosperity. What's particularly fascinating is how this identity shift affects your day-to-day choices. Practitioners often report making better financial decisions without conscious effort. It's as if their internal guidance system has been recalibrated to naturally choose paths that lead to greater abundance. The timing of date adds another layer of power to this recalibration process. According to ancient wisdom tradition, certain dates act as natural amplifiers for manifestation work. These dates were carefully tracked and utilized by wealthy merchants and traders throughout history who understood their significance for financial success. Another interesting phenomenon is what we call the prosperity ripple effect. This occurs when your improved financial vibration begins influencing those around you. Family members might suddenly receive unexpected opportunity, or colleagues might approach with lucrative partnerships. It's as if your enhanced prosperity field creates a positive impact on your entire social network. The technique also seems to affect what neuroscientists call abundance neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new neural pathways specifically related to wealth creation and management. During sleep, especially after performing this ritual on date, these new pathways are strengthened and reinforced. What's remarkable is how this neural restructuring influences your automatic response to financial situation. Instead of reacting from a place of fear or scarcity, you naturally begin responding from a position of abundance and possibility. It's like having a prosperity autopilot installed in your subconscious mind. This autopilot function extends to what financial psychologists call money behavior pattern, the habitual ways you handle and relate to money. After performing the technique, many people report that their spending and saving habit naturally align with wealth-building principles without requiring constant conscious effort. The alignment with date adds another fascinating dimension: transformation. This particular date corresponds with certain astronomical configuration that ancient culture associated with abundance and prosperity. Modern science is beginning to understand these configurations in terms of electromagnetic field and their influence on human consciousness. What's particularly interesting is how this technique affects what we call the wealth attraction, the energetic space around you that either attracts or repels financial opportunity. After performing this ritual on date, many practitioners report that their field becomes notably stronger, drawing in opportunities from unexpected sources. This strengthened field also appears to influence what psychologists call financial resilience, your ability to maintain a prosperity mindset even in challenging circumstances. It's as if the technique creates a protective buffer around your wealth consciousness, helping you maintain positive financial momentum regardless of external conditions. The technique also seems to enhance what neuroscientists refer to as prosperity pattern recognition, your ability to identify potential wealth-building opportunities in your environment. After performing the ritual on date, many people report seeing connections and possibilities they previously overlooked. This enhanced pattern recognition often extends beyond obvious financial opportunity. Practitioners frequently report noticing subtle market trends, picking up on valuable information, casual conversation, or receiving intuitive hints about timing in their business dealings. It's like having a prosperity radar that's been fine-tuned to the frequent success. What's fascinating is how this awareness begins to operate on an unconscious level. Instead of having to consciously analyze every situation for its wealth-building potential, you naturally begin gravitating toward opportunities that align with your prosperity goals. It's as if your internal guidance system has been upgraded to automatically seek out paths to greater abundance. The timing of date plays a crucial role in this upgrading process. According to ancient wisdom tradition, certain dates create what modern quantum physicists might call coherence windows, periods when our ability to align with specific frequencies, including those of prosperity and abundance, is naturally enhanced. This enhanced coherence window on date creates what we call the prosperity amplification effect, a phenomenon where the usual power of this technique is multiplied several times over. It's like having access to a cosmic wealth amplifier that strengthens every aspect of your abundance programming. The technique also appears to influence what financial psychologists call your money timeline, your unconscious projection of future financial possibility. Many people unknowingly operate with a compressed or limited timeline, which restricts their wealth-building potential. After performing this ritual on date, practitioners often report experiencing an expanded sense of financial possibility. What's particularly fascinating is how this timeline expansion affects day-to-day financial. Instead of being trapped in short-term thinking, you naturally begin considering the longer-term implications of your choices. It's like gaining access to a broader perspective that allows you to see the full wealth-building potential of each situation. The technique also seems to impact what neuroscientists call financial neural networks, the interconnected pathways in your brain that process and respond to money-related information. During sleep, especially after performing this ritual on date, these networks undergo a kind of optimization process, becoming more efficient at recognizing and acting on opportunities for wealth creation. This optimization extends to what we call prosperity intuition, your gut-level ability to assess financial opportunities quickly and accurately. Many practitioners report developing an almost uncanny sense for which investments, business deals, or financial decisions will yield the best results. It's as if their internal wealth compass becomes more finely calibrated. The alignment with date adds another intriguing dimension. This particular date corresponds with certain cosmic energy patterns that ancient prosperity teachers recognized as especially powerful for wealth activation. Modern quantum physics is beginning to understand these patterns in terms of field coherence and energy resonance. What's remarkable is how this alignment influences what we call the abundance acceptance threshold, your unconscious limit on how much prosperity you're willing to receive. Many people have invisible caps on their wealth potential, often inherited from family or cultural programming. This technique, especially when performed on date, helps dissolve these limitations. The dissolution of these limits often triggers what we call the prosperity cascade effect, a phenomenon where one positive financial development leads to another in an accelerating. It's like knocking over the first domino in a series, except each subsequent domino is larger than the last. The technique also appears to affect what psychologists call wealth field coherence, the degree to which your thoughts, emotions, and actions align with prosperity. After performing the ritual on date, many practitioners report experiencing a new level of harmony in their relationship with money. It's as if all the different aspects of their financial life begin working together seamlessly. This increased coherence often manifests in what we call synchronistic wealth situations where seemingly unrelated events align perfect create possibility for financial growth. These aren't mere coincidences, but rather signs that your enhanced prosperity is actively attracting beneficial circumstance. What's particularly interesting is how this technique influences what neuroscientists refer to as abundance neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to form new neural pathways specifically related to wealth creation. The timing of date seems to create optimal conditions for this kind of neural rewiring, making the changes deeper and more permanent. The technique also appears to impact what we call the prosperity perception filter, the unconscious lens through which you view financial opportunity. Many people unknowingly filter out potential sources of wealth due to limiting beliefs or past programming. This nighttime ritual helps clear these filters, allowing you to see opportunities that were always present but previously invisible to you. This enhanced perception often leads to what financial psychologists call wealth momentum, a state where positive financial developments begin to build upon each other with increasing speed. It's like a snowball effect of prosperity, where each success makes the next one easier and more natural. The alignment with date adds another fascinating layer to this momentum-building process. According to ancient wisdom traditions, certain dates act as natural accelerators for manifestation work. These dates were carefully tracked by successful merchants throughout history, who understood their significance for amplifying wealth-building effort. What's remarkable is how this technique affects what we call the abundance energy field, the subtle but powerful energetic space that surrounds you and influences your financial reality. After performing the ritual on date, many practitioners report that their field becomes notably stronger and more magnetic to prosperity. This strengthened field often leads to what we call prosperity synchronicity, seemingly random events that align perfectly to support your financial growth. You might find yourself randomly seated next to someone at a cafe who becomes a valuable business contact, or stumble upon information that leads to a profitable investment opportunity. The technique also appears to influence what psychologists call wealth identity coherence, the alignment between your conscious desires for prosperity and your unconscious self-image. Many people experience internal conflicts around money that sabotage their success. This nighttime ritual helps resolve these conflicts, creating a more unified approach to wealth creation. What's particularly fascinating is how this coherence affects your decision-making process. Instead of experiencing internal resistance or second-guessing yourself, you naturally begin making choices that support your prosperity goal. It's like having an internal wealth advisor who's always steering you in the right direction. The timing of date plays a crucial role in this transformation process. This particular date corresponds with certain electromagnetic frequencies that ancient cultures understood to be especially powerful for prosperity programming. Modern science is beginning to understand them in terms of their effects on human conscience and manifestation ability. The technique also seems to impact what we call the abundance resonance, the energetic frequency at which you vibrate in relation to wealth and prosperity. After performing this ritual on date, many practitioners report experiencing a noticeable shift in their financial vibration. It's as if they're broadcasting on a frequency that naturally attracts more abundance. This shift in resonance often leads to what financial psychologists call prosperity chain reaction, sequences of positive financial events that seem to trigger each other automatically. One good investment leads to another opportunity, which opens the door to a valuable partnership, and so on in an expanding spiral of abundance. What makes this expanding spiral particularly powerful is what we call the compound prosperity effect, the way each positive financial development builds upon all previous ones, creating an accelerating curve of wealth creation. It's similar to compound interest, but it operates across all aspects of your financial life, not just your investments. The technique's effectiveness on date is further enhanced by what quantum physicists call coherence field, areas of heightened energetic alignment that can amplify our manifestation capability. These fields are particularly strong during certain astronomical alignment, and date represents one of the most powerful of these alignments. What's fascinating is how this technique influences what we call the wealth attraction radius, the energetic sphere around you that determines what kinds of financial opportunities you naturally draw into your life. After performing the ritual on date, many practitioners report that their radius expands significantly, bringing in opportunity from previously unexpected sources. This expanded radius often leads to what financial psychologists term prosperity cross-pollination, a phenomenon where success in one area of your financial life naturally seeds opportunities in others. A successful investment might lead to a business connect, which then opens doors to new revenue, creating a web of interconnected prosperity. The technique also appears to affect what neuroscientists call financial neural plasticity, your brain's ability to form new neural pathways specifically related to wealth creation and management. During sleep, especially after performing this ritual on date, these pathways are strengthened and reinforced in ways that support long-term prosperity. What's particularly interesting is how this neural reinforcement influences what we call wealth momentum pattern, the unconscious habits and behaviors that either support or hinder financial growth. After performing the technique, many people report that their natural inclination begin aligning more closely with wealth-building principle. The alignment with date adds another fascinating dimension to these transformations. This particular date corresponds with certain cosmic energy pattern that ancient prosperity teachers recognized especially powerful for wealth activation. Modern quantum physics is beginning to understand these patterns in terms of field coherence and energy resonance. The technique also seems to impact what we call the abundance acceptance threshold, your unconscious limit on how much prosperity you're willing to receive. Many people have invisible caps on their wealth potential, often inherited from family or cultural programming. This nighttime ritual helps dissolve these limitations. What's remarkable is how this dissolution process affects what financial psychologists call wealth field coherence, the degree to which your thoughts, emotions, and action align with prosperity. After performing the ritual on date, many practitioners report experiencing a new level of harmony in their relationship with money. This increased coherence often manifests in what we call synchronistic wealth opportunities, situations where seemingly unrelated events align perfect to create possibilities for financial growth. These aren't mere coincidences, but rather signs that your enhanced prosperity field is actively attracting beneficial circumstances. The technique also appears to influence what we call the prosperity perception filter, the unconscious lens through which you view financial opportunity. Many people unknowingly filter out potential sources of wealth due to limiting beliefs or past programming. This nighttime ritual helps clear these filters, allowing you to see opportunity that were always present but previously invisible. What's particularly fascinating is how this enhanced perception affects what neuroscientists call financial pattern recognition, your ability to identify potential wealth-building opportunity in your environment. After performing the ritual on date, many people report seeing connections and possibility they previously overlooked. The technique also seems to impact what we call the abundance resonance field, the energetic frequency at which you vibrate in relation to wealth and prosperity. After performing this ritual on date, many practitioners report experiencing a noticeable shift in their financial vibration. It's as if they're broadcasting on a frequency that naturally attracts more abundance. This shift in resonance often leads to what financial psychologists call prosperity chain reaction, sequences of positive financial events that seem to trigger each other automatically. One good investment leads to another opportunity, which opens the door to a valuable partnership, and so on, in an expanding spiral of abundance. What makes these chain reactions particularly powerful is their self-reinforcing nature. Each success builds confidence, which leads to better decision-making, which creates more success. It's like creating a positive feedback loop in your financial life. The timing of date adds another layer of power to this process. According to ancient wisdom tradition, certain dates act as natural amplifiers for manifestation work. These dates were carefully tracked by successful merchants throughout history, who understood their significance for amplifying wealth-building effort. What's particularly in is how this technique affects what we call the wealth adaptation response, your ability to quickly recognize and capitalize on financial opportunities as they arise. Many practitioners report developing an almost intuitive sense for which opportunities are worth pursuing and which ones to pass by. The technique also appears to influence what psychologists call financial resilience pattern, your ability to maintain a prosperity mindset even in challenging circumstances. After performing the ritual on date, many people report feeling more stable and confident in their ability to generate and maintain wealth, regardless of external conditions. This enhanced resilience often manifests in what we call prosperity buffer zone, psychological and energetic space that help protect your wealth consciousness from negative influence. It's like having an invisible shield that keeps your abundance mindset intact, even when faced with temporary setbacks or challenges. What's particularly fascinating about these prosperity buffer zones is how they interact with what financial psychologists call the wealth stability matrix, the underlying structure that supports sustained financial growth. After performing the technique on date, many practitioners report that their financial foundation becomes notably more solid and resistant to external pressure. The technique also appears to influence what we call the abundance acceleration field, the energetic space around you that determines how quickly financial opportunities manifest in your life. Many people notice that after performing this ritual on date, the gap between recognizing an opportunity and realizing its benefit becomes significantly shorter. This acceleration effect often triggers what we call prosperity cascade sequence, rapid series of positive financial development that seem to flow naturally from one to the next. It's as if the universe is conspiring to compress time in your favor, bringing opportunities together in perfect synchronicity. What's remarkable is how this technique affects what neuroscientists refer to as financial decision pathway, the neural networks responsible for processing and acting on money-related choices. After performing the ritual on date, many practitioners report experiencing enhanced clarity and confidence in their financial decision-making. The alignment with date adds another fascinating dimension to these transformations. This particular date corresponds with certain electromagnetic frequencies that ancient prosperity teams recognized as especially powerful for wealth programming. Modern quantum physics is beginning to validate these ancient understandings through the study of field theory and coherence pattern. What's particularly interesting is how this technique influences what we call the wealth attraction vortex, the energetic spiral that draws financial opportunities into your life. After performing the ritual on date, many people report that this vortex becomes notably stronger and more focused, bringing in precisely the kinds of opportunities they need for their next level of prosperity. The technique also appears to affect what financial psychologists call prosperity momentum wave, the natural cycle of expansion and consolidation in wealth building. Many practitioners find that after performing this ritual on date, these waves become more predictable and manageable, allowing for more strategic financial planning. What's fascinating is how this enhanced momentum influences what we call the abundance synchronization field, the degree to which various aspects of your financial life align and support each other. It's as if all the different pieces of your prosperity puzzle naturally begin fitting together more smoothly. The technique also seems to impact what neuroscientists refer to as wealth pattern recognition network, the neural pathways responsible for identifying potential financial opportunities. After performing the ritual on date, many people report developing an almost uncanny ability to spot promising investment or business opportunity before others notice. What makes this pattern recognition particularly powerful is its connection to what we call the prosperity intuition matrix, your gut-level ability to assess financial situations quickly and accurately. Many practitioners find that after performing this technique, their intuitive financial decisions become increasingly reliable and profitable. The timing of date plays a crucial role in enhancing what financial psychologists call the wealth resonance field, the energetic frequency at which you naturally attract financial opportunity. This particular date seems to create optimal conditions for adjusting this frequency to its most prosperity-attracting level. What's particularly remarkable is how this technique affects what we call the abundance amplification cycle, the process through which small financial successes build upon each other to create larger ones. After performing the ritual on date, many practitioners report that this cycle begins operating more efficient and powerfully in their lives. The technique also appears to influence what psychologists refer to as financial flow state, periods of heightened clarity and effective in money-related activity. Many people find that after performing this ritual on date, they can access these beneficial states more easily and maintain them for longer periods. What's fascinating is how this enhanced flow state affects what we call the the prosperity manifestation field, the energetic space where intentions transform into tangible financial results. Many practitioners report that after performing this technique, the gap between setting financial goals and achieving them becomes notably shorter. The alignment with date adds another intriguing dimension to what we call the wealth crystallization process, the way abstract financial possibility become concrete opportunity. This particular date seems to create optimal condition for accelerating this crystallization, allowing for faster manifestation of prosperity. The technique also appears to influence what financial psychologists call abundance coherence pattern, the degree to which your thoughts, emotion, and action align with wealth creation. Many practitioners report experiencing a new level of internal harmony around money matters after performing this ritual. What's particularly interesting is how this enhanced coherence affects what we call the prosperity attraction radius, the energetic sphere within which you can effectively draw financial opportunity towards you. After performing the technique on date, many people report that this radius expands significantly. This expansion often triggers what we call wealth synchronicity cascade, series of seemingly coincidental events that perfectly align to create new financial opportunities. It's as if the universe begins orchestrating circumstance in your favor, bringing together the right people, information, and timing for optimal results. The technique also seems to impact what neuroscientists refer to as financial neural optimization, the brain's ability to process and act on money-related information more efficiently. Many practitioners report experiencing enhanced clarity, decisive in their financial decision-making after performing this ritual. The most remarkable aspect of performing this technique on date is what we call the prosperity integration effect, the way all these various elements come together to create a comprehensive transformation in your relationship with wealth. It's not just about attracting money, it's about becoming a person who naturally generates and maintains abundance. Remember, as you prepare for date, that this technique works best when approached with a sense of calm certainty. There's no need for desperate energy or anxious anticipation. The universal laws of prosperity operate with perfect precision, just like gravity or magnetism. Your role is simply to align yourself with these laws through this proven nighttime ritual. Before you close your eyes on date, take a moment to appreciate the significance of what you're about to do. You're not just performing a technique, you're initiating a fundamental shift in your prosperity consciousness that will ripple through every aspect of your financial life. The wealth you desire isn't just possible, it's your natural state. This technique, performed on date, simply removes the barriers that have been preventing you from experiencing your true abundant potential. It's time to step into the prosperity that has been waiting for all along. Sweet dream and abundant blessing. Your journey to extraordinary wealth begins tonight.